On today's show, we are interviewing the former NFL great and Dancing with the Stars contestant turned successful entrepreneur and actor. Yes, folks, on today's show, we are interviewing the great one, Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis played in the National Football League between the years of 2006 and 2019, where he won one Super Bowl ring and was selected to the NFL's Pro Bowl team twice. Standing at 6'3" and playing at a lean and powerful 250 pounds, Vernon Davis was a physical phenomenon on the NFL field. And now he's blowing people's minds once again with his acting career, with his business acumen, and his artwork. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my interview with Vernon Davis.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we're going to have a personality that many of you know from his NFL playing career and then Dancing with the Stars, and now he's dancing his way into the game of business. He has great teeth. He's a beautiful man, and I, for one, am a fan. Vernon Davis, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Good to be here. I feel pretty good.
Hey,
Thanks for having me.
I got to ask you this. So, tough questions coming in there. Do you ever intimidate yourself when you smile in the mirror? What a great smile you have. Do you ever intimidate yourself?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Now, you have had massive success, but for people out there that maybe haven't done the level of research that I have or that many of our listeners have, they don't know where you came from. Can you tell us what your life was like before the stardom and before the accolades? I mean, what was your life like growing up as a kid?
Yeah, so I grew up with my grandparents. I was with them since I was born. They raised me and my 6 siblings, and it was a good life. It was a good life. We never really had to want for anything because my grandparents made a way for us, and they always took care of us, made sure we had everything we need. My dream was to always play basketball, but I ended up playing football. I went to Dunbar Senior High School, downtown Washington, D.C., and played there for 3 years. I was on full scholarship at the University of Maryland, and from there I was drafted to the San Francisco 49ers with the 6th pick as the 6th pick in the draft. And I was there for 10 years and went there, was traded to Denver Broncos, and from Denver I went to the Washington football team, played there for 4 years back in my hometown.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
Now, you said your favorite sport was basketball, is that correct? That was your favorite sport in high school?
Yeah, I played basketball full time.
How good were you in basketball in high school? I mean, how good? I know that as the older you get, you might have gotten better in your mind, but I mean, seriously, how good were you at basketball?
You know, I was pretty decent. I was decent. I think football was always my sport.
Yeah.
Basketball didn't work out, but I was good enough to do well.
Are you going to do the Ice Cube 3-on-3 league? You going to do that? You going to make your way on? You going to play on a 3-on-3 team here to kind of show your skills?
I would love to. That would be great if I can still go out there and do it.
Now
I think I can though.
Now let's talk art for a second. The one thing, and again, I hope this doesn't come across as a backhanded compliment because that's not how I mean it. You were like a wild dude when you came into the NFL. I mean, I don't know if you were mentored by T.O. or what that was, but you were a wild dude. That was part of why I liked cheering for you. I'm like, this dude, he brings it. I mean, you just brought it every play, and you were a wild dude. And when I start hearing that you're doing art, I'm going, what? Because normally when you think about art, you know, you're thinking some guy's going, I like to do paintings. And I'm like, Vernon Davis is doing art. Can you tell us about your love with art?
Yeah, I was my love for art. I went to school. Well, my major was art studio. I changed my major my junior year of college from criminal justice. Fell in love with it. I found out later on, 3 years after that my biological granddad was an artist.
Really?
So it was always in me. I continued to pursue the arts, opened up an art gallery called Gallery 85 once I got drafted to San Francisco after my first 2 years of being there. It was phenomenal. I love art. I love everything that's associated with art, from from painting to acting to music. I love it all.
Where can we see? Where can are so many of our listeners and viewers love to go online and kind of while they're listening to the show and look up people and kind of interact that way? Is there a certain website where people can go to see your artwork, or maybe to buy some of your artwork, or where do you showcase your art?
Yeah, I'm not selling my art right now, but you can find some of my previous pieces on VernonDavisFoundation.org.
VernonDavisFoundation.org. And how would you describe your style of art?
I would say acrylic on canvas is my go-to.
Okay. Acrylic on canvas. Now, I hope that our show encourages everybody. That's one thing I hope. I grew up, without money, grew up poor. Some people grew up more poor. We could talk about that, but that's the whole point. We want to help people out there, and there's got to be somebody that maybe wasn't raised by a grandmother who was as involved as your grandmother. And thank God for your grandmother. It sounds like she's just a gift and just was unbelievable for. I've heard her speak multiple times very highly of you. Didn't want you playing football because didn't want you getting hurt. She's praying for you all the time. And what a blessing she is. What would you say to the young man or woman out there that maybe doesn't have that person in their life and they had their parents disappear on them like you did? What would you say to somebody listening right now that doesn't have that person in their life?
I would tell them to always believe, have faith, and be strong, and know that everything's going to be okay. Just sometimes we have to, most times we have to accept where we are in life and understand that there's a purpose behind it, right? Everything happens for a reason. We just, as long as we keep the faith and know that everything's going to be okay, it'll work out the way it needs to work out.
And if you don't want to answer this, it's fine, because I can always edit it out if you don't want to answer it. But in terms of faith, what is your faith?
My faith is everything that's been instilled upon me from the beginning of time, and that has to do with my integrity and my character, and that's what I've always believed in. And one thing about that is that who you are as a person, it'll show throughout your life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm all about treating people the right way. That's what life is all about to me, is treating people the right way. And again, that begins with your character and your integrity.
You played for Coach Singletary, which is all about, character, integrity. You were also growing up in front of America to see. I mean, everybody's watching TV, watching you. You got, 60,000 people cheering for you. You're 6'3", 250 pounds. Everybody, people hating you on social media, people cheering for you. You got T.O. in the locker room. There's a lot of pressure. How would you describe your experience, or maybe what you learned from Coach Singletary?
I learned a lot from Singletary. I mean, I'm very, very, very grateful that he was there during that time, because I needed him. And as a young man trying to find your way through life as you navigate, you have to have the right people in place to help guide you. And he was one of those. He was the one who helped me. He was a very integral piece in my decision making. As I was growing into a man. Yeah. And that incident that we had when he sent me to the locker room, I learned so much from that. After that, I became a better leader. I became a better father, a better person in general. And I'm very, very thankful to have had him in my life during that time.
I feel like his eyes have the ability to look into another man's soul and somehow understand what they're thinking. And it's weird. I mean, there's certain people like that. I know Pastor Billy Joe Doherty, a pastor back in the day from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He had this ability, this integrity, this. It was like Tony Dungy-esque. You know what I mean? It's like this. It's like man Yoda meets linebacker. It's just weird. How would you describe the Singletary stare? It freaks me out.
Oh, it was really intense. I mean, when he was at you felt like you did something really wrong.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just watched his press conferences, and he would just say things, and I'm going, I like you, but you're freaking me out. And I wasn't even, on the team. I just felt like, man, that guy, I agree. I feel like he could still tackle people. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
now, T.O. In the locker room, I love his story too. That's one of the things I love about the NFL is I love the stories. I love overcoming adversity, and I love the men you guys become. It's so fun to watch that and the media focuses on the crazy stories. You know, that sells papers and clicks and all that kind of stuff. But what was it like having T.O. on your team?
You know what? I didn't play with T.O. He was around. I had an opportunity to meet him throughout my tenure in the NFL, but we didn't play together. We didn't have that opportunity.
Will you be willing to play T.O. one-on-one in a game of basketball? I would like to see this, please. Could you make that happen?
No, I hear he's pretty good. I hear
you're pretty
really
good too. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you think he has some post moves? You can muscle him up a little bit, or what do you think? I mean,
I'm not going to back down from a challenge. So yeah, I'll take him on if I had to.
I would love to see that happen. Love to see that happen. Now, there's something kind of Kanye about you. It's like there's a Vernon 2.0 that the world hasn't seen. And, you know, I mean, seriously, it's like, okay, I do football. You're a gifted athlete. Vernon, I wanted to play in the NFL, but it turns out I have no talent, no skill, no athleticism. But I wanted it, but I didn't have that. So you used your God-given talents and applied yourself and absolutely built yourself into a great athlete. I applaud that. But then it's like, okay, by the way, I do art, and then you're into that, and then you're doing the Dancing with the Stars. Tell us about Vernon 2.0. Where's this thing going?
You know, I've been like this as a kid. I've always been interested in so many different things.
Yeah.
And I just go with the flow. I let life take me on a journey, and I just try my best to, you know, just go with it. And like I said, just have faith that this road that I'm on is going to lead to nothing but great things.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like having success. Success is amazing because when you're successful, you're able to reach so many people because of the platforms that you have and inspire and empower them in the best ways. And I love helping people. I love encouraging people, and I love being an inspiration for the ones who need it or looking for guidance.
Do you follow a lot of Kanye's music or his evolution as an entrepreneur? Have you spent a lot of time, or have you met Kanye West?
No, I never met him, but he's a guy here. He's a great artist from what I've seen and the music that I've listened to. He's very, very talented, very creative.
So let's go into the Vernon playlist, okay? First, we're going old school. Like it's like high school prom. You could picture it. It was a high school gym. Where was your high school prom? Was it at a gym or was it at a hotel? Where was your high school prom?
It was actually in a gym. Yeah, it was in the gym.
And what was your jam? I mean, what was the jam? You know, the slow jam. You're like, oh, the DJ's gonna play that song. Did you have an old school jam?
Oh, if he's playing Brian McKnight, then that was a good evening for me.
Back at one, that kind of thing, or what are you feeling?
There you go. There you go.
Have you met Brian?
Back at one. Say it again.
Have you met Brian McKnight?
No, never met him. Would love to meet him.
See, I was a former I built one of America's largest DJ companies before selling it, and then I'm buying other businesses and stuff. So I'm always interested. Now, current jams, okay? So current, like what's on the playlist now? What's a song or songs you're maybe working out to, or some songs where you're like, this is the current, Vernon Davis hits?
You know what? I listen to a little bit of everything. Right now, Kane Brown is on my list. I love Kane Brown, man. I'm a big fan of Chris Brown. When it comes to R&B and pop. I listen to I got some hip hop right now.
If I gave you a 60-second homework assignment, would you maybe check it out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
PJ Morton, How Deep Is Your Love on YouTube? PJ Morton. It is sick. I mean, it is like you have to check yourself for COVID when you listen to it. It's that sick. It's just, it is just, I'm serious. It's it's too good. It's too good. Okay. Your career was epic. What was your highlight? Was there a certain play where you, because I have no talent, no skill. I would always be, if I played, I would be thinking about that one play, that one move. Was there a specific play where you said, oh man, that was supernatural. That was a gift from God. Was there? Yeah, a certain play you had like a highlight in your mind?
Let's see. Probably New Orleans. I had to think about that one. New Orleans, first time in the playoffs. I scored the game-winning catch.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. As a kid, you always want to score that game-winning catch. So for me to be able to make that play and help my teammates capture that game, it was unbelievable feeling. My teammates were into it. The stands, the entire stadium was going crazy. It was a great day.
When the ball's coming in and you're running, you had what, 4.4 speed? What was your speed? What was the peak of your speed? I mean, game speed. What are you going? Were you 4.5, 4.4 kind of guy?
4.4. I say 4.4.
So you're going, and the adrenaline's going. It's game speed. I mean, I've seen you guys play up close. It's crazy. I get scared. I'm like, someone's gonna get hit. Oh no! But you're just going. Ball's coming in. What are you thinking when the ball's coming in, or do you even have a thought?
Well, no, you just kind of in the moment. You're just thinking about. You just focus. You're totally focused on your assignment, which you have to do, and only thing I can think of is just making the play, just coming through.
Now, when you get the ball, here you go, boom, you got it now, okay? And now you see, here's a defender, and you're a big guy, 6'3", 250 at the time, Are you thinking then? Do you have thoughts then? Or are you going, I'm going to run over that dude? Or you try to avoid that dude?
No,
what are you thinking?
No, my overall objective when I get the ball is to score a touchdown.
Okay.
That's all I'm thinking. How can I catch this ball, turn upfield, and get into the end zone?
But you don't pre-think, like, I'm going to do a spin over here. I got this. You're just, it's all in the moment there. Or you kind of pre-think some of the moves?
No, you're in the moment. You're just reacting. It's just like acting. It's a reaction. That's all you're doing.
Did you ever have a time where you said, I know I normally don't pre-think stuff, but if I catch a pass, I'm going to run over that defensive back. I'm going to hit that dude. Did you ever have that moment where you're like, I'm going to run through that dude? Did you ever have a kind of a rival? Because Deion Sanders, it was always fun watching Deion Sanders go against Andre Rison on the Falcons. Those dudes would just get after it, But did you ever have a dude that was a defensive back or a linebacker or someone you're like, I'm gonna take it to that dude?
No, I never really thought about that. No, I don't think so. I've always reacted. I just, my overall objective, like I said, was just to make plays and help my teammates win. You
look like and I might be prejudging. You look as though you do not eat a lot of Krispy Kreme. Not a whole lot of Krispy Kremes. So what does your diet consist of? And what do you eat? What are you eating today? A typical day?
On a typical day, I'm making sure that I'm eating tons of vegetables. I don't eat a lot of meat. The only meat that I'll eat is fish, maybe salmon.
No way. No meat?
Tilapia.
Really?
Maybe, yeah, I'll eat salmon twice a week. And then the other days, I'm eating vegan products.
Have you always been vegan? Have you always been vegan?
No, I'm not really a vegan. I just try to minimize the amount of animal product that I'm putting in my body.
Why?
Just health reasons, just staying healthy, just living a healthy and active lifestyle, pretty much.
And so what's
I'm big on.
Sorry about that. It's cutting out a little bit. Sorry about that. Back to you.
It's okay. No, I'm big on just doing things in moderation. Like all my life, I've eaten chicken and beef, so I try to scale back a bit. As I get older.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I possibly can to make sure I'm eating healthy and doing the right thing.
So what time do you wake up in a typical day?
I wake up usually about 7:30 a.m.
First 4 hours of your day, what are you doing?
First 4 hours of my day, I'm eating and working out, phone calls, Zoom, business.
How long is that workout? The first workout. How long is your workout?
My workout now is about an hour and a half.
And do you work out alone, or do you have a partner or trainer?
I work out alone now.
And do you listen to stuff while you're working out, or do you what do you do?
Sometimes it all depends. I think half the time I'm listening to music, and half the time I'm not.
So it's like 6 days a week for you, 5 days a week, 3 days a week. What do you do?
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm getting in the flow. So then you do the Zoom calls, you're doing the business stuff, and you're doing some great business stuff. Can you tell us what stuff you're working on? Because our listeners love to get behind and support, great guys like you that are, frankly, treating people the way you want to be treated. You're paying it forward. You're checking all the boxes, being a great dude off the field. What are you working on?
There's quite a few things, but one in particular that I'm really, really excited about is Riff Cold Brewed Coffee. So what Riff has done, they're all about social equity.
Yeah.
They found a way to really, really utilize working farmers, right? We know that there's a certain amount of people who are not being taken care of in a fairly way when it comes to compensation and being able to live a beautiful life, right? So they're giving jobs to farmers, cold brew. So basically, when coffee's produced, right, they take the bean, the seed, they use it, and they throw the fruit away. So this company has learned to take the fruit of coffee and turn it into a beverage.
Really?
Natural, low in sugar. It's called Riff Alter Ego. That's the name of the drink. It's pretty phenomenal. I encourage everyone to use it. And it's awesome. It's amazing. It tastes good. It's healthy, natural energy. I've been using it since I started working with the company. I'm one of the board of advisors. And it's awesome.
It feels like to be a board of advisors, just so I can tell, you have to have beautiful teeth and have to be a guy that avoids eating a lot of meat. Is that the criteria needed to get on the board there? How did you come in contact with these guys?
No, you just have to be really into the product. You have to believe in the product.
Yeah.
You have to be sold in, and that's what it's all about. If you believe in the product, you're sold on it, and you think it can do really well, then hey, it's a place for you.
Now, I think the website I'm seeing here is letsriff.com. Does that sound correct? Letsriff.com?
Yeah, it sounds about right. And you can also go, for those who don't want to go on the website, they can go to Amazon and buy the product.
So, Vernon, tell us a little bit about the transition from athlete into businessman, actor. Tell us about the transition. What's going on for you?
So after I retired, I produced 2 indie films that I had the great opportunity to be the lead actor on.
Oh, really?
So I have those coming out. Those are in post-production. Then I have a slate of movies, like 6 movies that's slated for 2021 and 2022 that I'll be acting and producing in. But the one that I'm excited about is a movie that's coming up in January that's already greenlit. It's called Chariot.
Chariot.
That's going to be a super exciting film to work on. I can't wait for that one.
What's Chariot about?
Chariot is pretty much about erasing people's memories. It's like a sci-fi, and it's pretty cool because it starts off. Yeah, I don't want to tell the movie. I don't want to talk about it too much.
Okay.
But it's a sci-fi, and it's all about erasing people's memories, and you follow these characters, and you see how they navigate through life. This main character, one character who navigates through life, figuring out clues and just understand, not really knowing what's going on, but he's figuring things out along the way, which is pretty phenomenal. The character that I'm playing, his name is David, and he's a pretty awesome character.
Well, without giving it away, we know you're in it. We know you're playing David. We know it's about erasing people's memories. It's going to be exciting. What's been the biggest thing what's the toughest challenge for you learning how to become an actor? I mean, because I think it's tough.
I think the toughest challenge is just the toughest challenge was tapping into my emotions. Like, acting is all thoughts and feelings. That's all it is. You know what I mean? You don't have to do anything more than that. And just being able to control your facial expressions in certain moments. And one of the key things that I really like that I've been taught is like that I look for when I'm watching an actor is how much they're blinking. You know what I mean? Because that's it's really small, but it's a little thing. Like when you controlling your blinking especially when you have the POV, the close up. You want to control your eyelids. So I just try to fine tune all the little things that it takes to be a good actor. But now that I've been doing it for a little bit of time now, since February, I'm getting better and better.
I don't think that Mike Singletary has ever blinked. That's my thought. I don't know if that's true. I just feel like he stares at you with righteousness. Had you ever seen him blink? Did he ever blink?
You know what? Now that you mentioned that, I have to go back and watch some of his interviews.
I think like we look away because we're like, this guy's serious. I mean, I would lose a staring contest with him every time. I would start crying, I think. Oh, great. Well, Vernon, I appreciate you so much. And again, your new film is called Chariot. Everybody should check it out in January, right? January it's coming out?
Start filming January 18th.
Okay, I have five final questions. I want to respect your time. I know you're trying to take over the world, and you said you'd knock out the interview first and then take over the world. So I want to make sure we get into these final 5 questions here. Hero. Guy you met in the NFL, you said that guy was a hero. That guy was one of the coolest dudes. Maybe there's multiple people. Who are some of the nicest, kindest people you met where you go, you know what? That guy made an impact on me, or that woman made an impact on me?
I'm going to have to say the coolest, nicest guy in the NFL. I'm going to have to say Brian Young. I played with him back in San Francisco.
Brian Young.
He was like a wonderful spirit, nice guy, family man, Christian. He was all about doing the right thing.
Brian
awesome.
Young. Would you identify as being a Christian, or do you have like a certain religion that you?
No, I am. I'm a Christian.
Do you believe in the whole Bible? Is that a thing?
Believe in the whole Bible. Absolutely.
I'm asking you this because we're in a weird time in American history, and I was just pointing out to my kids the other night. Matthew 5:10 says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for their righteousness, for they shall inherit the kingdom of heaven." Persecuted, and when people share their faith, I mean, it's like an all-in thing. And I just think that's so. Next question. I'm glad that you brought that up. Next thing is Christ. What does Christ mean to you?
Christ means life. To me, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Christ. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing if it wasn't for Christ. I give everything that I do. I give him all the glory. I give him everything that happens in my life. Every accolade, every piece of success that I achieve goes to Christ.
I'm really into Ephesians right now. I'm really stuck in Ephesians. I'm just really having the, it talks about we battle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness and dark places and all these kinds of things. And fiery darts, coming at you, temptation, and we got to pray and be thankful. And there's just so much in Ephesians. I could just, and then when my day's going bad, it's like, I'll open up to Job, and it probably could get worse. And then Proverbs is great for wisdom. Do you have a favorite book? Maybe a book of the Bible or a favorite book that you go to that's like, hey, man, that book is hot. Is there a favorite book or books you'd recommend? Or a documentary?
I read a lot of passages. The book that I recommend from a Christian standpoint would probably be the Our Daily Bread. A lot of passage examples really help you navigate through life.
Okay, Our Daily Bread. Okay, I'm putting this down here. And do you have any book that you recommend that's not maybe a Christian book, but one you'd go, hey, man, that's a really great book that helped maybe get your mindset altered or changed?
Altered or changed, something like that. I would have to say anything by Joyce Myers. Joyce Myers, she's more faith. It's a faith-based book. A lot of books that I read are faith-based books, or it has to do with acting or business. If it comes to acting, the power of an actor by Ivana Chubbuck is a great book that I really utilize. I read it a lot. And then there's Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm a businessman.
Snap! Rich Dad Poor Dad. That book is great. That book. Oh, that's great. We actually Sharon Lecter, who when Robert Kiyosaki had the idea for the book, he was actually making a board game. And he met with her to share his idea. And she says, well, why don't we turn it into a book? And so Sharon Lecter was the one who ghost wrote that book. And we've had her on the show many, many times. You would like that podcast. She's great.
Very, very nice. That's awesome.
She was the head of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, too. And I named my son after Napoleon Hill. So my son's name is Aubrey Napoleon Hill Clark, from Think and Grow Rich, that book. So that's kind of the connection there. Final 2 questions, and I'll let you go. Peace out and do what you do. Family. What's going on with your family? Or what do you want to share or not share about? Because I think nobody's perfect, but you're doing a great job setting an example of what it means to be a class act off the field. Can you kind of tell us about your family or let's peek into the family life a little bit?
Yeah, my family's awesome. I come from a very athletic family. My brother Vontae Davis, who played in the NFL for about 10 years, he was really respected in the NFL. And I have another brother who didn't make the NFL, but he was very talented.
Yeah.
I have siblings who are all doing really well. My mom and dad are doing really well. My grandmother is still living. She's in good health. My granddad passed away September of 2019.
Yeah.
So I keep him right here close and dear to my heart.
I lost my dad from Lou Gehrig's a couple years back, and I know what it's like to lose somebody. You know, it's tough. But you know what? We believe they are up there with God right now, with Jesus, and that is an exciting thing. Are you a single guy or are you a married guy?
I'm single. I'm currently single at the moment.
Now, what we're going to do here, final thing, and I hate to do this to you, we're just going to give out your cell phone number to everybody. So if you're single ladies, you just call the number. We'll vet it. Don't worry about it. We'll do 2 or 3 background checks, and you two can get a dream date with – no, I'm just kidding with you. But, hey, no, seriously. You have a screening process now? Are you even dating? Are you not dating? What are you doing? Are you dating right now or no?
Right now, I'm just focused. I'm focused on my career, transitioning, acting, producing content is like my biggest goal right now. So I'm doing all that I can, putting all the pieces together, and hoping to have tons of success for that.
Well, you know, Vernon, there's a lot of on behalf of all the dudes out there in America, ladies, we're sorry. We're getting better. We're getting better, ladies. I'm sorry. But you're a good dude, and I just tell you, I can't thank you enough for setting the standard. You're the kind of guy that I would want my kids to cheer for. I was allowed to cheer for David Robinson growing up, the basketball player, and I've spent a lot of time with David. I've had him on the show quite a bit. He and I are business partners, and I can't say thank you enough for the man you've become and you're becoming. And again, just thank you, Vernon Davis. You are a great American, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! To learn more about Vernon Davis, check out his website, vernondavisfoundation.org, or you can follow Vernon Davis 85 on both Twitter and Instagram.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.